Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. David Cole. I'm speaking to you Sunday afternoon, May 14th, Sunday afternoon, the 14th. Many of you, just about all, will be seeing this on Monday, the 15th, which is the first day of class for the first 7-week term at OPSU for summer of 2023. And this is Political Science 1013, American Government and Politics. Everyone, you should be receiving several announcements over the course of the day Monday, and most all of those announcements also will go up on the course website under the Announcements tab. So those announcements will be there, and they'll also come to you in the form of a series of emails. Let me say just a few words about course requirements, which everyone is always concerned about. Everybody, there will be 4 exams. Now, we've got to get this in 7 weeks. So the exams will be coming pretty quickly. Once every 10, 11, 12 days, we will have an exam. The first exam will be on Friday the 26th. There's 8 units in the course, so each exam will cover 2 units. No exams are comprehensive, including the final. Every exam covers 2 units. Now, for the exams, you'll be responsible for my class notes, which are posted in the modules area of the course website in 3 formats. You can look at them in PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, or as a PDF. The content should be identical. The PowerPoints were converted into Microsoft Word files, which were then converted into PDFs. So everything you see in the PowerPoint, every slide will appear in the Word document and the PDF with the notes from the PowerPoint beneath the sides. So whatever format works best for you. Okay. There is a textbook which I hope you will obtain, We the People, by Lowy Ginsburg and several others. Actually, Professor Lowy has passed away now, but he and Ginsburg took on several collaborators over the years, and I think there's half a dozen people on the current edition of the We the People textbook that we are using. I generally treat the textbook as supplementary, but I hope that you will obtain this textbook and read the chapters assigned that accompany the class notes. So you're primarily responsible for the class notes on the exam. There will also be outside readings assigned. Okay? And I will send you the links to these readings. We try to keep these as current as we possibly can. Generally, they'll be from the national press websites over the past few weeks. Okay. You should never have to pay to access these websites. Okay. I do send out links to articles from the New York Times and Washington Post, for instance. Those sites have paywalls, but they generally let people access a limited number of articles per month free of charge. If you should encounter the paywall, contact me, and I will get the content of that article to you. McKee Library maintains a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. So if I send you something from the Wall Street Journal, you should be able to access it through the McKee Library, and I will send you instructions on how to do that. Okay? There will be selections from other sources that have little or nothing in the way of a paywall, to the best of my knowledge. So you should not have to pay for any of this. If you run into a paywall, contact me. All right? Now, the exams generally will include 10 to 15 items on those readings, out of 50 in all. Multiple choice and true-false items. All 4 exams will be in that format. 50 multiple choice and true-false items. Mostly true-false. Mostly based on the class notes, but some 10 or 15 per exam based on these readings that I will distribute. And you should get the readings for the first exam tomorrow. Watch for it. A message will say, Exam 1, reading assignment, May 26th. Okay, so that's coming up pretty quickly. All right, 4 exams, 100 points each for 400 points. You'll be assessed on the basis of 500 points. In addition to the exams, there will be 5 threaded discussions over the course of the term. Over a period of 4 to 8 hours, you'll be asked to post once and then one more time in response to one of your classmates. over a period of 48 hours. The discussion question will be posed in an announcement that will go out, and it'll also be up on the course website under discussions. Okay, very often there'll be an article or two linked for you to read to inform you about the discussion topic. All right. Those are 25 points each. We'll count the best 4 out of 5. So that's a 100-point grade, just like an exam. If you take part in all 5 discussions, you will receive a 25-point attendance bonus. Okay? All right, now, in addition to that, there will be at least one and maybe more extra credit assignments due over the course of the term. One is coming right away at the beginning of the term, and it should be very easy for you to complete and get 5 points right away that way. Watch for that announcement coming tomorrow. You may also write a term paper. It's not required, but you may write a term paper. The term paper is worth 100 points. For most students, the way that will work out will be that if your term paper grade is high enough, it can go in place of a low score on an exam over the course of the term, except the final. Everybody must take the final. The final counts for everybody. Okay? So you may wish to choose to do a term paper. Okay? A list of topics will go out. It's posted up on the course website, and I will email it to you. It'll be attached to that email. It'll say term paper topics. Okay? So look at those topics. There's a couple of pages on each suggested topic with links to help you get started on your research. If there's another topic you want to do, contact me and I will consider it. But the topics on that list are ones that I have approved. Okay? By and large, the topics consist of a piece of legislation before Congress or that has been before Congress. You're asked to look into what went on to contribute to that piece of legislation passing or not. Okay? What went on behind the scenes. All right? So that's a grade that can go in place of an exam grade if you have a low exam grade over the course of the term. But otherwise, there will be 500 points, 4 exams, and a set of discussions. Term paper may take the place of one of the exams. It's a 90, 80, 70, 60 scale. So you need 450 points for an A, 400 for a B, 350 for a C, and 300 to pass the course with a D. You have to have at least 300 points to pass the course. All right. So those are the course requirements in a nutshell. It's described in more detail in the syllabus, which is posted to the course website, and which I will be attaching to an email to you. Okay? All right. So those are the course requirements which everybody's always concerned about. Let me say a word about Unit 1. Okay? Now, many instructors would begin with a unit on the Constitution, and we're going to do that, but for us, that's not going to come into Unit 4. That'll be covered on the second exam. Unit 1 is over what I call political participation, which is largely about elections. A good bit of it is about elections. Okay? Who votes and who does not? Okay. What influences the way people vote? What are the rules and regulations governing elections? And what do we know about elections that give us some idea, perhaps, of how an election might pan out? Okay. We begin, though, with different ways of participating. Okay. Remember, there's millions and millions of votes cast, especially in a presidential election, and you may come to feel that your vote is nothing but a drop in the bucket. Many people feel that way, although I don't encourage that. I do encourage people to vote. But there are many other ways you could participate. Okay? You could wear a button or a bumper sticker or put up a yard sign. You could give money. You could give money to a candidate or a political party or a pressure group. Okay? You could engage in direct political persuasion yourself. You could contact a public official. You could run for office. Okay? Or you could take part in what we call unconventional participation, which by and large means protest behavior. You could take part in a demonstration, a march, or a protest, which can become violent. Okay? From time to time, such things will become violent, and we will discuss some violent episodes throughout history, perhaps the most recent coming on January 6, 2021, as we know. All right, so there's a range of ways in which you can participate, conventional and unconventional. Okay. Unconventional participation means largely protest behavior. conventional ways of taking part within the rules, okay, within the rules of the game, okay. Anything from voting to running for office, okay. Unconventional participation stretches the rules of the game a little bit. People will raise their eyebrows and be concerned about whether what you're doing is legitimate or not when you go to that length. But sometimes things happen that provoke people into taking part in political protest or unconventional participation. All right, so there's a range of ways in which you can participate. Okay. At the very beginning, we talk a good deal about the concept of democracy and just how democratic this system is. Okay, and is it as democratic as it's cracked up to be, and is democracy such a good idea anyway? Okay, so watch very carefully what I have to say about that. But after that, we go into different ways in which you can participate. Then the second half of those class notes, we do talk about voting in elections. We talk about efforts to expand the right to vote throughout United States history. We talk about the record of Americans at turning out to vote, which is better than in some countries, perhaps not as good as in some others. Okay, but we do emphasize there's at least two questions surrounding voting that we need to distinguish very carefully. Okay, there's vote choice. Okay, how do people decide how to vote? When election time comes, that might be something we're very interested in. Who's going to win, Trump or Biden, the Republicans or the Democrats? Okay, well, what goes into influencing somebody's vote choice? Okay, we're going to look at that fairly carefully. But we also need to realize some people vote, many others do not. And that raises the question of turnout versus vote choice. Okay, before you can make a vote choice, you've got to decide to turn out and vote in the first place. And it turns out that some people vote and some people do not. And then not necessarily the same kind of people. They may differ in certain characteristics, which can have important implications for the political system. All right, that's Unit 1. That's the first of 2 units we will cover on Exam 1 on the 26th. I will say a bit more about Unit 2 on political parties and pressure groups next time before the exam. All right, in the meantime, you can contact me through the course website or email me at david.cole@opsu.edu. Everybody, I try to get one message out a week. I'm going to try to experiment with getting an extra message out in the middle of the week to talk about things that have been going on in the political system. So this is the message for week 1. Look for video number 1A in a couple of days and week 2 video about a week from now. So, first exam coming up Friday the 26th, and we'll be talking to you between now and then about that. So look for a couple of these messages a week. That's something new we introduced in this term. We're going to try to experiment with a second message every week. We've been doing 1 per week. We're going to see if we can get 2 messages out every week. All right then, so I hope you will look at the class notes and the textbook. The discussion will be coming up in a few days, before, after, during next weekend, I imagine, for 48 hours. And then the exam coming up on Friday, May 26th. In the meantime, take it easy, study hard. We'll talk to you again in the middle of the week, and once again about a week from now at this time.